My home feels like a sanctuary now. It happened slowly through 7 tiny swaps I started making in my everyday life. The way the air feels when I walk in, the way the house holds itself at the end of a long day. None of them felt dramatic on their own, but together something shifted, and I think I know why. If you are anything like me, tea light candles are probably something you reach for quite often. I light them while diffusing essential oils, when I burn natural camphor, or simply on quiet evenings. For years, I never really thought about the candle itself, but over time, I started replacing paraffin candles with beeswax candles instead. It's such a simple change, and honestly, one that no one would even notice when they walk into my home. But I notice it. Beeswax burns longer, gives off this beautiful warm golden light, and I simply enjoy knowing that it's a more natural choice for something I use so often. And I think that's something I have learned over the years. When a habit becomes part of your everyday life, even the smallest choices begin to matter. Because a sanctuary isn't created by grand gestures, it's created by the quiet things we do every day. Since we are already talking about candles, let's also talk about how our homes smell. I have always believed fragrance has the power to completely change the mood of a home. These days, I rarely reach for synthetic room sprays. Instead, I enjoy using things like essential oils, Bhimsani camphor, sambrani, bakur, and a good quality incense stick or cone, depending on the day and my mood. Some days I want the house to feel fresh and uplifting. Other days I want it to feel calm and grounding. It's become less about making the house smell nice and more about creating an atmosphere that feels peaceful to come back to. I actually have an entire video where I share all my favorite home fragrances. So if you'd like more ideas, definitely watch that one after this. But if you're looking for one easy place to start, I'd simply choose natural fragrances more often than synthetic ones. This one is close to my heart. Of course, there are practical reasons for choosing non toxic cookware, but it is also about preserving traditions. Our kitchens used to have so many beautiful vessels with names, stories, and purpose. This, for example, is an Iyasomba. If we stop using these things altogether, somewhere along the way, those little pieces of our culture slowly disappear too. Over the years, I have found myself reaching for more steel, cast iron, and clay cookware. I especially love cooking in clay pots. They add such a lovely earthy flavor to the food, but more than that, they slow me down. There is something about cooking in them that feels intentional, and somehow, food made with care always feels different. Another habit that quietly changed the way I cook wasn't changing the oil I use, it was changing the way I pour it. For the longest time, I would simply pour oil straight from the bottle, just like most of us do. And there isn't anything wrong with that. But one day I realized I had absolutely no idea how much I was actually using. Now, I like measuring it with a teaspoon whenever I'm cooking, not because I want to use less oil, some dishes genuinely need a generous amount, but because I like being intentional about it. It's a small habit, but it makes me more aware of what goes into our body every single day. I also love using these steel oil containers. They are easy to pour from, comfortable to hold, and I can simply pop them into the dishwasher whenever they need cleaning. Of course, you could use a spray bottle or any dispenser that works for you and for your kitchen. It's really not about buying something new. It's simply about creating little systems that make everyday cooking feel easier and more mindful. And I have realized that's what most homemaking is, not doing more, just doing the ordinary with a little more attention. I think that's why I am so drawn to traditional kitchens, whether it is a cast iron kadhai or a simple steel vessel that has been around for years. They are all designed to last. You don't replace them every few years, you care for them, and somehow that teaches us to care a little differently too. The next change isn't about cooking, it's about caring for the home itself. Our kitchen counters are probably one of the most frequently cleaned surfaces in the house, and for everyday wiping, I have slowly moved towards making my own cleaning spray. Now, I am not someone who believes every chemical cleaner is bad. There are definitely situations where stronger disinfectants are the right choice. But for my everyday cleaning, I don't always need something that strong. So I make a simple spray using equal parts vinegar and water, a few drops of lemon and lime essential oils, and a little dish soap. I use my little agar whisk to blend everything together before pouring it into a spray bottle, and one batch usually lasts me about a week. I am using it here on a really messy kitchen organizer, and as you can see, it does a lovely job. More than anything, I enjoy knowing exactly what's in the bottle I am reaching for several times a day. Again, this isn't about replacing everything overnight. It's just one more small choice that makes our everyday spaces feel a little gentler. Because when we repeat something every day, those little choices begin to shape the feeling of our home. We have spoken about caring for the home. Now let's talk about caring for ourselves. One ritual that I have come to enjoy again is using a gentle Ubtan instead of reaching for an exfoliating scrub every time. I still use conventional skincare too. I don't think everything has to be completely natural all the time, and I honestly believe balance is what makes habits sustainable. But for everyday use, I find myself coming back to this. It is gentle enough that I have even used it on my children, and it's become something we all enjoy. Whenever I want to make it a little more special, I mix in a few drops of kumkumadi oil with some milk to make a smooth paste. Sometimes I use rose water instead. It's such a simple ritual, but the fragrance, the texture, and the way my skin feels afterwards always reminds me that taking care of ourselves doesn't have to be complicated. Sometimes slowing down for even 5 extra minutes is just enough, because a peaceful home also begins with the way we care for ourselves. The last change is one that quietly happens behind closed cupboard doors. Whenever I store my saris, I like replacing naphthalene balls or mothballs with a combination of bay leaves and Bimseni camphor. If you have dried neem leaves available, those work beautifully too. It's a simple way to help keep little insects away while leaving everything smelling fresh. I also place a small silica gel sachet inside each sari pouch to absorb any extra moisture. And inside the wardrobe, I always keep a moisture absorber. It's such a tiny habit, but it always preserves the things I truly value. And I think that's something I have been learning over the years. Homemaking isn't only about decorating our spaces, it's also about caring for the things we have chosen to keep. Whether it's a favorite vessel in the kitchen or a sari filled with memories, looking after them is another way of expressing gratitude for the life we are building. Before we end this video, let's step into the garden for a moment. I often feel that a garden has so much to teach us about homemaking. You can't rush a flower into bloom. You simply nurture it a little every day, and over time, it flourishes. I think our homes are much the same. None of these little habits changed our home overnight, but together they have slowly shaped the way our home feels. And maybe that's what a sanctuary really is. Not a perfect home, but one that's cared for with intention, one small habit, one small ritual at a time. If this video inspired you to try even one of these little rituals, I'd love to know which one in the comments below. And if you enjoy this kind of slow, intentional homemaking, I'd love to have you as a part of our little community here. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. Until next time, may your home always be your sanctuary.